Okay, this is a bit of an unusual video, and I want to record this video because there's something I want to talk about that's most unfortunate. Now, this is not the first time I've seen this happen before. Sometimes pro-life people, famous pro-life activists, say stupid things, and they're not exempt from criticism. Now, keep in mind, I'm pro-life and I'm vegan and atheist, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to call out stupid and wrong when I see it. Now, a while back, there was a website called LifeSite News that I read a few posts on, but I found out they actually spent more time saying horrible things about gay and transgender people than they did anything related to abortion. And the problem, and this is an unfortunate problem with the pro-life movement, is that it's largely done by religious people, usually Christians, and that's why it will never succeed. The pro-life movement, as long as the majority are Christians, will not succeed, of course, because they're wrong about their fundamental beliefs. And I'm not going to debate that. But the purpose of this is to show what Abby Johnson said. Now, I'm going to switch to display capture here because, okay, she says, eventually this push for transgenderism will collide with today's secular feminism. What does she mean, secular feminism? As opposed to her religion that tells women to shut up, basically? Anyway, secular feminism pushes for women to be equal to men. Although it is a false narrative because physically women can never be equal to men. We never will be. But this form of feminism has brought us male athletes in women's sports. And now the women complain because the men are naturally beating the women. Well, that's what you get when you push for equality, an equality that can never exist. Current secular feminism, no matter what wave you want to follow, is destroying women. It has downplayed our innate desire for motherhood and called it weak. It has told us that in order to be successful, we must behave like men, which is counterintuitive to our biological nature. This clash is coming, and I believe will be very ugly and complicated, but maybe also refreshing. Either way, one group will have to be honest and abandon their current false beliefs of equality, or one will completely succumb to the other, completely nullifying their entire premise. I'm personally looking forward to it. May the truth be known. Okay. Now, I have a few things to say about this. Well, I also look forward to this clash, if it exists, but I'm not sure it does exist. Let me go over this what you said here. Okay, so now, first of all, okay, so she's criticizing this equality and feminism. I don't know what she means by secular feminism, but okay, as far as the issue of trans women being in women's sports, well, yeah, I mean there are problems with that, but if we're talking about sports like wrestling and boxing and football and stuff like that, physical contact sports, people get hurt and injured and die, okay? So my opinion is, how about let's just not play those sports? Let's just not have sports. In my opinion, football shouldn't exist. Wrestling and boxing are just people getting beat up and hurt. They shouldn't exist in the first place. So the problem is not with transgender athletes. The problem is the sports are a whole sham to begin with. But what's this about this equality? Now, what's meant by equality here? First of all, yeah, men and women physically are not the same, biologically speaking. We know this, you know, It's not. I mean, transgender people know that they're not the biological sex they wish they were, but they do make steps to change their appearance with hormones and surgery sometimes, or just changing the way they dress, whatever they can, to make themselves feel more what makes them comfortable. But if your worst argument against that, if you have a problem with that, is trans people in competitive sports like this, then that's meaningless anyway to me. But more importantly, why do people consistently feel the need, people who are mostly famous for being against abortion, why do they consistently feel the need to constantly criticize people who are gay or transgender or whatever, the whole LGBT stuff? Why do they get into that? Let me make this clear, okay? First of all, these people generally have fewer abortions than anybody else, because yes, they can't. Yes, there are cases where they can people still get pregnant, but generally, homosexuals by their very nature are not causing pregnancy. It's the heterosexuals who do that, and then bisexuals who are having sex with the opposite sex. I mean, yeah. So first of all, these people don't cause pregnancy in general, and transgender people who take hormones or have certain surgeries are rendered temporarily or permanently sterilized. So the LGBT community as a whole has fewer abortions than any group. So because of this, it seems like, why in the world would these people consistently speak against transgender or gay rights? Like, why do they do that? When they do that, they make themselves look stupid. Okay? But there's more to this, okay? So she had another post. So, always brand maxi pads have removed the symbol for woman off of their packaging because a tiny group of people say that it's not just women who menstruate. Oh, this is getting good. Here's some basic science for our society. It's not persons who menstruate, it's women. Only biological women have periods. It's not pregnant persons, it's pregnant women. Only biological women can get pregnant. I'm all about being compassionate and merciful. You all know that. But this is just foolishness and needs to be called out from every corner of the planet. It is not brave. It is mental illness. It is a dysfunction. It is dangerous. And it's just simply not scientific reality. It time to stand on truth. Okay, yeah, typo there. Okay, right. Well, first of all, okay, Abby, I do see your frustration. I have this same frustration when it comes to pantheism, for example. Redefining God to mean the universe. And yes, there has been a redefinition of terms. Because now we have this issue where language is changing. We're trying to move away from he, she, male, female, man, woman. As a society, the LGBT QIA people, we want to move towards a more gender neutral thing. And this is just my opinion based on what I've seen, all the things I've read, all the YouTube videos I've watched. But my own opinion is that that's very good. See, here's the problem: is people are oppressed very badly, all people, because they're specifically, it's like they're expected to behave a certain way. Referencing women acting like men. First of all, what does it mean to act like a man or woman? And let me tell you, these roles are culturally invented, and people have these ideas about what a man or woman is supposed to act like or look like, and all this stuff. And unfortunately, it's a mess, because if you happen to be a man, and let's say that you're not straight and you don't want to date or marry a woman, then automatically that makes you different and weird, and people don't understand that. As in my case, for example, but and then with transgender people, it's a whole different matter. Yes, there are biological realities of male and female. Yes, and we all know that traditionally the term man has referred to somebody who has a penis, and that woman referred to somebody with a vagina and uterus and all that. Like, I think most of us know that, and yeah, we shouldn't forget the true biology of these things, but at the same time, there are good reasons why languages have to be changed. The way that people speak needs to be changed, because some people, yes, they might be biologically female, but they don't like being called a woman. They would rather be called a man. They would rather be referred to as male pronouns. And of course, the reverse situation, yes, people may have been born biologically male, but they feel a lot more comfortable with female terms to describe them, And I just gotta say, Abby, stick with the abortion topic. And also, if you're not vegan already, go vegan. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. Yeah, that's something I had to realize, because it makes no sense for people to be against the murder of one species but not another. I really do think that being pro-life doesn't make any sense in the context of then eating meat, dairy, and eggs, and billions of animals being killed for that. So a non-vegan is not pro-life, and that was my original reason I went vegan. But aside from whether you agree with that or not, Abby Johnson, you need to realize that you're just dead wrong when you start making these statements about transgender people and secular feminism. Compared to what kind of feminism? Or are you criticizing feminism as a whole? And you sound like you're criticizing equality. And maybe you didn't realize this, but equality of men and women should be about having equal opportunities, in education and employment. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course we know men and women are not biologically the same, but let me tell you something. No two biological men are the same. No two biological women are the same. Some women can't get pregnant. Some women don't menstruate. And I'm even of the biological women, okay? So the problem is, we can't use these terms in a way to always refer to people with specific sets of biological characteristics, necessarily. You can, but it's a generalization. And I'm not against people generalizing and using these terms that they're used to using, but come on, to make these anti-trans posts, on your page, is just, to me, I find it disappointing, because the only reason I followed you, I've read your book, Unplanned. I still hope to see the movie, and I've seen you in videos. Yes, I think it's great that now you're against abortion and against that type of murder, and I hope that you're against all sorts of murder of innocents. But that's your life, and I've said what I had to say, because I just really, your Facebook post just really made me sad when I saw them. So I may have to unfollow you. It's just sad, because there are pro-life people that I can respect, who are smarter and who do respect equality. And you may not understand this because you're not in the situation, but if you were gay or bisexual or transgender or asexual, and you differed in these certain ways, you might be more understanding of it. But I can't change you, although I wish I could just make you see what's wrong with your posts. But what's the point? I'm wasting my breath if I say anymore. But that's what I have to say. That's my opinion. I just need to release that.